Hello, hello. As promised, I'm going to talk to you about 5 of the biggest mistakes that I made in my first year of freelancing so that you don't have to. It was really important to me to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that I did wrong when I first started, because I didn't have anybody that I could ask to help me. I didn't know any other designers. I didn't have any other, I knew designers. I didn't know anybody else that was freelancing. It wasn't something that I'd even planned on doing. You guys know that I was laid off from my job, and that's why I started. My only resource was one of my friend's older sisters, and that was it. So I kind of paved the way in my friend group in regards to the freelance life. And so I want to do that for you guys, help you learn from some of the things that I could have avoided pretty easily if I had a resource to go to. So let's dive right in. The first thing that I tell all of my friends who are thinking about freelancing, starting their own business, whatever, is get a separate bank account and set up a bookkeeping system. That is really important to me because you will find even just at tax time how much of a nightmare that is. It's a total disaster to have to go back through, figure out what income you made, figure out what expenses you spent. You need to keep track of your receipts. You need to keep track of your expenses. You need to keep track of your income. It's really important just for your mental sanity, for tax time, and for just the organization of your business, how scalable it is. I promise you will thank me later. So get a separate business account. I just opened a second one at the bank that I was already banking at, and all of my business transactions went there first. Then if you want to pull from that business account into your personal account, go for it. But make everything come in and out, income and expenses wise, profit and expenses wise, come in and out of one account. You're going to be so happy that you did that. And then anytime you have expenses, come up with some sort of system, whether you pay for a program or whatever, but keep your receipts. I actually just tag mine in my email. So I have labels set up in my email, and I'll set it up so that it's 2020 receipts. I actually even have them labeled down to the month, which is a little excessive. I don't think you need to do that. But I'll have all of my receipts come in through my emails, and I'll tag them. That way you're covered if you ever need to go back through them, whatever. Oh, the other thing, if you're in the US, some of you aren't, and I don't really know how that works, but something you're gonna be really glad you did in a similar vein as bookkeeping is setting money aside for taxes. I have an entire training about this actually on my blog about bookkeeping and taxes for freelancers. I did it in partnership with my bookkeeping company, and they weighed in on a lot of these things, but you're gonna want to set aside money for taxes. When I first started, I think I was putting 20 to 25% of my income, or of my revenue, my business revenue, into another account. So I had a business account, and then I had a taxes account, and that taxes account was just a pool of money that I could pull from when it was time to pay taxes. And that has saved my butt so many times, and it's one of the biggest things that so many of my freelancing friends don't do, and they really regret it by April or whatever. So if you're in the US, put money away for taxes. I don't know how that works anywhere else, so I can't give you advice on that. Okay, the second one is you need some form of a contract. I am not a lawyer, nor am I a financial advisor, so I can't give you real legitimate advice, but you need a contract. If you don't have one, you are seriously opening yourself up to just nightmare situations that you don't need to have. There are so many what would you call them? Online law firms essentially that create contract templates specifically for graphic designers, freelancers, online business owners, things like that. They're pretty affordable, and you can customize what sections you want or need. You can tweak things based on your specific business model, but get one of those. It's so worth it. and will protect you from any type of client nightmare. So please don't do work without a contract. I didn't have one for a while, and thankfully I was fine. I didn't run into any issues, but you could, and so please get a contract. So as you continue designing, you're gonna run into crappy problems, you're gonna run into nightmare clients, you're gonna do stupid stuff that you're gonna like kick yourself for, you're gonna make decisions that were the wrong ones, like you're gonna hit these roadblocks. That's just the name of the game. But I want to make sure that instead of you like getting down on yourself about it, instead of even like getting mad at the client, like the nightmare client, instead of just blaming all the external situations, it's like take your time, be like bummed about it or whatever. But what really needs to happen is taking those experiences and just figuring out what holes you need to patch up in your business so that it doesn't happen again. Every time I have a really hard learning experience, I'll like feel through your feelings, whatever you got to do. But every time I'm like, okay, what can I do to fix this? Because I can't change that nightmare client. I can't change the situation that's happened. I can't change that I made that bad decision. Whatever the situation is, like it's done and it's happened. And all you can do is just tweak things to be better. To make sure it doesn't happen again, to make sure that, you know, that client can't run you to the ground next time, to make sure that you vet your clients before you even bring them on better than you did that time or whatever it is. But really the name of this whole like entrepreneur game is just doing it better than the last time and learning new things and figuring out what works, what doesn't, and like what you need to be changing and tweaking to keep growing. That's all it is. This is the whole game, is just continuing to get better and doing better than last time. So I guess my point is just don't take those experiences to like make the changes you need to make in your business, rather than just like get down on yourself and like blame that client for being a nightmare, because you're gonna have them. Everybody has them. Every time I feel like have like an ironclad contract and a perfect like onboarding scenario, there's always some new one that like sneaks their way in, and then I'm like, okay, what do I need to do now to like make sure I patch up that hole that they found how to get in here? That's probably one of my biggest tips from just like mindset perspective and like an action oriented perspective, is like, don't let that shit get you down, because all you can do about it is just patch up the holes and keep going and learn from that experience. Everyone has them, and it's whether you let it like make or break you is the whole thing. I want you to focus your marketing efforts to very specific things. I think I see so many freelancers when they first get started, they're on all the things, they're doing all the things, and it's exhausting and not helpful. I want you to have a marketing plan. And when you're just starting out, I know that that's totally overwhelming and you have no idea what that should even be. And if that's you, slide into my DMs because I can help you. But you need to focus on like one or two things. When I first started, my social media platform was Pinterest. I wasn't on Instagram. I had like a handle, but I posted on it for like 3 months and I was like, screw this. Why am I spreading myself so thin? You don't need to be on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. I was gonna say Vine, and I didn't even watch Vine. Who am I? But being on all of the things is not going to be successful, especially when you first started. My number one piece of marketing advice for you is to pick one thing and get really freaking good at it. Figure out what that thing is, what you want that thing to be. Pick something that feels good to you, that feels aligned to you, that feels exciting for you and manageable for you, and do that thing all the time, and do it really well. Get a system that works. Don't stop until you have like a ironclad system. So that's what I did with Pinterest, and So many of you guys probably found me on Pinterest because of it, because I did that 5 years ago. So pick one, maybe two. I might allow you to pick two, but if you need help deciding, shoot me a message. But get really good at one thing. And then once you've got that thing under wraps, then you can add another thing. Like add your second thing after you've got one thing that's working for you. Don't try to make all 10 things work for you. It's not gonna work. And it's gonna run you to the ground. And that's not why we're freelancers. We're freelancers because we love our lives and our business fits our lifestyle rather than our lifestyle has to revolve around our business. Don't forget that either. And my last tip that I wasn't good at when I first started was remember that you're the expert. You are the expert in your business. So that means that when you start working with that client, you're the one leading them through that process. You're the one you're gonna sit down with them or hop on a call with them or be in email contact with them, whatever that looks like. And you're gonna be like, okay, here's what's first. This is what I need from you. This is what you can expect from me. This is when you'll expect it. This is how my process works. This is how I'll deliver the files. You lead them through that process. I think when you're first starting, it's really easy to be led through that process by the client and just be like, yeah, whatever you want, it's fine. And that's not it. We're not doing that either, because again, we freelance because it fits our lifestyle. And when we want to be our own boss, but when we let our clients be our boss, that's not helpful for the client and it's not helpful for you. So make sure that you're just establish that you're the expert right from the get-go. Say, this is my process, this is my system, this is when you can expect things from me, this is when you need things from me, this is how I recommend you set up X, Y, and Z. Thanks for the hearts, you guys. That makes me happy. And that way, that establishes your credibility. They already think that you're just like the real deal, because you are. And B, it makes it so that you're in control of the process, you're in control of the situation, you know how to, like where you're going, where you're headed, and what's to be expected, and so do they. So just don't forget that you're the expert, and so show up like that so that you don't just get like railroaded. That can happen, and it happened to me many times in my first year or so of freelancing. Please don't feel bad if you've made any of these mistakes already, because I made all of them. So it really is part of the game. It's actually why part of the reason I really love being an entrepreneur is because I learned so much and I just get to like try stuff and see how it goes. And that just really lights me up. So please know that any mistakes that you have made or will make, that is normal, that is part of the process. We are all doing it. And it's nothing to like be ashamed or embarrassed about or whatever, but also having a resource you can go to is going to be really beneficial to help you avoid all of those mistakes that I could have avoided if I had a mentor of sorts. So that brings me to my last point. If any of you are looking for somebody to kind of hold their hand through this process, figure out what your marketing strategy should be, figuring out what systems you should have in your business, figuring out how to work with your clients, how to sit down and have a process, be the expert within that client designer relationship, whatever that looks like for you. I am currently opening up 3 spots in my 3-month mentorship program. I will sit down, we will dive deep into your business together. I'll help you figure all of those things out. I'll be there to give you some tough love, some accountability, some just mental, emotional support, whatever that is that you need. It's all gonna be super, super tailored to your business, but this is something that I do for a lot of different people. So it's one of my superpowers is just seeing the bigger picture and then figuring out what little things we need to do for you to hit your next goal. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a DM. You can also go to marialtoff.com/apply. There's a quick application, and that's just to make sure that I am a good fit for you. I never want to enroll you in something that isn't going to be hugely transformational. So whether you have whether you need help with marketing, processes, automation, systems, just like mental support, like somebody to just challenge you and hold your hand to like make those big scary leaps. That's kind of my thing. So shoot me a message if you want to learn more. I'd love to work with you really closely one-on-one. We have bi-weekly video calls, recordings to all those calls, and then you'd have access to me on Voxer, which is a walkie-talkie app, so we can talk back and forth to each other via that app, like voice messaging app, or text through that app as well. And I can help you for the next 12 weeks. So I just had to do some really fast math there. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for coming.